Welcome to X1T Gaming, and together we're going to revolutionize the gaming industry, one step at a time. So we're going to be continue on with a lab that we had. So we're doing the lab 3. I don't know if you guys remember, or if you see the previous. I'll show you the previous videos, but where we had the cubes and the circles for like enemies and stuff like that. So we're going to be continuing on with that, and yeah, so I'm just trying to leave it, get it to load up here. And so one of the things that it says is that we need to have like a player controller script onto the main character. So we'll show you what I got. Okay, so this is what we're working on. And so select the player rigid body. So this is our player. We got the blue. We need to have a rigid body component to it. Okay, select the player and add a rigid body component with or without gravity enabled. So we'll have gravity enabled. I don't know exactly what we'll be doing with this one. Okay, just move that there like that. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to make create a scripts folder. So I guess this is their way of trying to get us to do everything by scratch, which is pretty cool. I like that. And then we want to create a new C#, and we're calling this one player controller. Yeah, and I heard the guy say that even if you aren't going to have a move, you should have a player controller script attached to the player. Okay, so the player has got the rigid body and it's got the player controller script. Now we want to attach to the player and open it. Determine what type of programming you will be required for your player. By the end of this step, you should have a new script open and a solid plan for what will go in it. So first thing we'll program is the player's very basic movement input. Okay, so declare a new private float speed variable. Okay, let's try to do this without actually looking at the videos. So we want private float speed. Okay, if using physics, declare a new rigid body player variable for it and initialize it in the start. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to do what he's doing. It's a little bit weird trying to like have him tell you what to do when you're trying to do your own game. So they want rigid body player RB variable. I don't think that's right. That's incorrect code. Okay, if using the arrow keys, declare new vertical input or horizontal movements. If basing your movement off a key, press create the if statement to test for the code. Use either translate method or add force method if using physics to move your character. Okay, we're gonna have to actually watch these videos now. I guess we're just going to be making the game that he's going to be making.
So now that we know how we want our player to move, we need to actually make our player move. our design document here is a great reference to have to understand what we need to do to move. So in my case, I have the arrow keys that I'm going to use. So I'm going to need some input. I'm not using spacebar or anything, so I don't need to do key codes.
Okay, so okay, let me see the lab introduction 3. Got the overview.
We have primitive objects ready to go for all the main components of the project. But the first and most important element we should focus on is the player. So by the end of this lesson, your core player movement will be functional. Now, depending on the type of project you're making, the player controls may be completely different. You might be able to move all around the screen, jump up and down, maybe just rotate left and right. Whatever the core player control is, it needs to get done first. But after you've programmed where the player can move, you also have to program where they cannot move. For example, if your player can move all around the screen, they cannot be able to leave the screen. If the player can jump up and down, they cannot be able to jump endlessly. That's the goal here. Program how your player can move and also how they cannot.
Okay,
So to make all that happen, I'll see you in Unity.
this is interesting. So I'm debating, should I just do his lab, or should I just start creating my own thing? Because it's going to be more of a copy and paste for him. Yeah, I guess I could do my own thing for my own project. And okay, so the first is to get the outline of everything. Let's okay. I'm going to open up another project. We'll save. We're gonna actually try to do my my ball bounce project. So we'll start a new project. We'll call this one lava balls. Lava balls. I don't know why. That's what I'm thinking about naming it. And so we'll actually with this lab thing, look at what needs to be done and try to do our own thing. Okay, but the one that I haven't learned yet, because the player controller that I have that I want to design is a mouse click, and I got to click on it to make it bounce. So that's the movement, is me clicking on it. Otherwise, it's just like a gravity kind of thing. And then I need to have like some enemies. Am I going to be doing enemies? I don't think there's going to be. I don't think I'm going to do enemies on this one. Just a basic wall and balls, floor, maybe a ceiling. Yeah. Actually, while I'm at it, I should check Unity dimensions for phone games. Okay, so for this we are going to need to consider 4 screen resolution. Late landscape is going to be like that. Okay, trying to figure out on YouTube what should my ratio be for my game. Hmm. Oh, they're asking how to make the game fit on all mobile game sizes. Oh, what? Basically, I force fixed width and let the height vary based on aspect ratio. Huh. Okay, let's not worry about scaling that right now, actually. Let's just go back to here. And we'll do the labs before. And so we'll have to make new scenes. So what we want to do is we want to make the ground, how did we do that again? Okay, so we got scenes and assets. We want to add a new folder and have this one as game was it game objects? No. Here we want to create text, ragdoll, terrain. Interesting. How does terrain look like? Okay. Let's create a new object. 3D. So we got effects particle system. Okay, that's pretty cool. Just looking through all these kind of stuff that they got. Okay, so let's do. Oh, they got ragdoll, text, quad. Let's just do a plane. And then we're going to call this one the ground. Yeah. And so we just got this. Okay. So this is going to be the ground. How do we have my... Okay, and then we're going to need another game object. Cube. Let's do a cube. Do we need cube? Yes. We're going to need a cube, and we're going to scale this. Right, these are going to be our walls. So we need to move this one over here. And then let's create a new one. Let's go duplicate. Do we need them that far apart? I don't really think we need them that far apart. And then the camera, maybe we'll bring them onto this side instead. Just like that. And we want to look at this side of our screen because this is where the game's going to be. We'll move our camera up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to actually work on our game today. Let's scale, move this a little bit like that. Okay. So let's just move this to 0. Scale, what's this to? 2, 1. Okay, so this is the x-axis, 0.5. Let's go 0.75. The y and the z are fine. This one, let's just have it an even 7 for now. Okay, 0. No, we don't want 0. We want 2. No, we want -7. No, we want -6. -5. -4. -3 is good. The y-axis will have this one. Oh. Okay, so that one's there. Yeah, let's just have it at 0. Probably be a little bit easier. This is weird. What if I did this one at 0? This at 1. What if I did the position at -1? Oh, because it's half a 7. Okay, because that's the middle. Okay. So this one we're just going to go 7 to make it easier. This one's going to be 3.5. And then this one was going to be what? 4. 3.5, 3.5. This one's going to be 0. Right, that's good. Cube 1. Okay, so we'll just have it like that for now. Okay. And now, where's the camera? Camera's over here. Okay. There we go. Now I want to name this one left wall. Rename wall left. And we're going to rename this one. Where is it? Okay, now we want to create our game object, which was going to be a sphere. And we're just going to have the position it right in the middle. Okay. And now let's change the colors up a little bit. This one we want to... Ooh, new terrain. I think we can delete this one for now. I kind of want to open it and see what happens. Please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. Okay, no, nothing's happening. We'll just delete this one. Delete. Yes. Delete. So we don't need this one right now. Okay, packages. Oh, we got all that stuff. Nice. Okay, so let's change the color of our game ball. Okay, how do we do this? This one we needed to edit. Create a material. New material, let's call this let's call it player or game ball. Game ball, what color do we want to call it? Let's call it game ball for now. And we're going to put this one. How should the color be? You know what? Let's. Okay. Let's do it the orange color. I'm going to put in the same color that we have for okay. So we go game ball. We switch this one to that. It's 255. This one's going to be 95 and 31. I guess that one's going to be like that. Boom. And then we're going to put this one. We're going to rename this one as game ball. And we're just going to put that on there like that. So we got a neon orange game ball. And we'll have black walls. Let's do another one. So we got to, for the materials, for these materials, I need to make another under assets, create folder, and we're going to call these materials. And then just put this right in there. Help us to organize the materials, and then we're going to create another material, and we're going to call this. What color do we want the walls? Let's just do black walls. Black. Let's go wall, black. And let's change it first. So, boom, black walls, 0 everything. And then let's put it onto the left wall, put it onto the right wall. Okay, and now the bottom, the ground, let's create a new materials and let's call it lava. What am I doing? So materials, create material, call this lava. And so let's go and look up what the lava code is. Lava color code. Okay. So it is a generic color name, lava red. Do we want that one? They have lighter colors, darker colors, code, color. Love red, cherry. Wow, there's a lot of different types of reds. Deep red, red blood. Just regular red, neon red. ruby red. And this one that we have is called lava red. Let's do lava red. So 228 34. This one is 23. So that, my friends, is the code for lava. I'm going to put this on the ground. Boom. Nice, simple, easy colors for now. Do I like the lava one? Maybe not. Okay, now we want to create in our folder. Now we want to have a new folder for scripts. And we're going to create a new C# script. This is going to be player controller. Player controller, and this is going to go on to the game ball. So onto the game ball, we also want to add the rigid body to it. We want to have the mass. Let's press play, see what we got. It drops. Nice. Now, I believe there's supposed to be collision constraints info. Okay. Okay. How are we going to do this? So, freeze position. We don't want it to move on the Z axis. We only, let's go is kinematic. No, we don't want to do is kinematic. Wait. We want the Y, we want the X, we don't want the Z because it's going to be like a 2D game. Okay, now we want to make the ball bounce. Have a bounciness to it. Still kind of stuff. So effects. Let's do physics. Box collider. We don't want collider. Character joint close. No, they don't have it. There's something in the rigid body. We made it fall, but we want to make it bounce. I saw that they have a like a one automatically, but I forgot how to do it. Collision detected, discrete, continuous. Does that do anything different? No. Let's keep it discrete for now. Mesh render. I don't think we need to mesh render. No, it's in rigid body. Copy component, move up, remove component, find reference in scene, reset properties. Okay. Rigid body. Wonder if there's another rigid body kind of thing. No. Just a rigid body 2D. It's got gravity, uses gravity. So we made our character when touch the ground to bounce up with code last time. Let's maybe do that. So we got our player controller. Oops, it's opening up. This one we don't need. I wish I could like open up what's previous method? No. I wish I could open up all the other ones that I recent files. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this challenge 3 assets. Okay, the line ending the following are not consistent. Do you want to normalize the line ending? Let's go no. Okay, so this is the player controller that we have from that one. Did I... Okay, we don't need this one. Don't save. Okay, this one we want to add a... Do we want a rigid body to these ones? I can't remember. No, we do have a collider. Okay, and then what does the ground have? The ground has a mesh collider as well. So it has colliders already, so we don't need to have it have a rigid body because it's not going to be moving. They're just walls. But the game ball, we want to add a bounciness. Okay, now we got to go to YouTube Sensei. Because I remember seeing this on YouTube Sensei. Unity ball bounce. Create an infinite bouncing ball with physics materials Unity tutorial. So they have
ball into the scene. We'll set the position to 0 view. To do this, we'll select press play to see how the ball behaves.
Okay, what does it do?
It falls under gravity, but there's no bounce.
Yeah.
The bounciness of an object material
Yeah.
onto the ball. Let's press play again. This time the ball bounces a few times before coming to
Oh, okay, wait a minute.
the project panel.
So physics material.
We'll call this-
Oh, okay. So they have physics material that we got to add. So if we go create, do they have physics material? So there's material, physics material, bounciness, all that kind of stuff. Nice. So we're going to call this bounce. Okay, now there's materials. Let's go in assets. Let's create a new folder and let's call this physics materials. And we're going to get this bounce, put it in there. Open that up. So we're going to get the bounce and put this onto the game ball. Did that work? No. Bounce, game ball. Okay, so it's here we have the bounce right here. there's the bounce. So now we got to edit the bounciness. Let's do it as a 10. Let's see what happens. Wait, let's make it bounce at 100. Bounciness 1. Bounciness 10. I guess one is the highest it can go. Then we gotta go to the game ball. Let's do mass 2. Okay, the bounciness is not super happy with it. Let's go mass 0.5. Okay. Bounce combine. Wait, bounce combine average friction average. Can I do 2? No, one's the highest. Static friction, static. Can open it? No, I can't open it. I wonder what will happen if I put this as well. Will it be like a double bounce? Interesting. Oh. How do I get that out now? Delete. Okay, just had to press the delete button. That's weird. What is a YouTube?
This material, ball. We'll set the bounciness to 1.
Okay.
Then we'll drag the
Bounce.
material onto the ball. Let's
Okay.
press play again. This time the ball bounces a few times before coming to a stop. This is quite realistic behaviour for a ball, and these settings will work well for many scenarios. But what if we want the ball to keep bouncing indefinitely? Let's stop the game and have a look at the physics material again. You'll notice that the bounce combine value is set.
Okay, so we just have to change the bounce. Let's play around with this. So bounce combine. What's minimum? Let's try minimum. Let's see what that does. Okay, no. Bounce multiply. What does this do? Nothing. Maximum. Okay, nice. Oh, looks like it's going higher and higher and higher. If I did that one maximum as well. Still going higher and higher and higher. If I do this one minimum. Yeah, I don't think the friction combine is working right now. But yeah, so we want to just keep that at average. Bounciness, let's do what was it, 0.9787 or something like that was the thing where it's going to keep it at the same level each time. There we go. So we got the ball. It's bouncing forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay. Now we want to do how to do left click, Unity, left click, key code. Just go left click. So mouse click objects using raise and interface tutorial. Oh, here's a Unity. Okay, click objects in Unity. How to click objects in Unity 5.
Onto our enemy AI.speed.
I can't even read that. He should have zoomed in. Okay, click objects in Unity.
Clear that for now, and it's not what we're...
Okay,
Hey game developers, Bilal from...
let's see what we got. Okay, be able to click on game objects, know how to interact with game object physics, understand our arrays. Oh, object clicker. Okay, let's just see what kind of code he's using here. Oh wow, that's interesting. Ray equals camera.main screen point to ray. I have no idea what this means.
camera is facing. So basically, if our
Let's see what this guy says for the clicking.
care about right now is this ray that we want to create. So I'll write ray equals camera.main.screen point to ray input.mouse position. And yeah, so this is, not exactly 100% clear for a beginner, but what this is doing is turning a screen point into a ray, as the name says, but the details of that ray are that this is a ray from the camera into the mouse's position towards where the camera is facing. So basically, if our camera is looking, if we check in Unity, at this ball, then if I were to click from this cursor here, it should shoot a ray from the cursor and toward the ball on this 3D axis here. Okay. So let's go ahead and write the rest of this code. We need to check if a ray cast along that ray is actually going to get us a hit or not. So let's
go try finding another one. Click. Mouse click.
In this video, I'll
objects.
show you how to click objects in Unity. So currently we have a coin 2D game as well. And so just to recap, shooting a ray cast directly from the camera to a certain position on your scene, and then if it intersects with an object, it will return the collider of that object. So luckily Unity has a great function for us that we can use for that. So let's start off with the 3D mode. So the first thing that we want to have is a reference to our main camera, so we can shoot a ray out of it. So up here, let's just do that. So we can say private camera, main camera, and then in our awake function, we can say main camera equals camera.main. So here we're just storing a reference to the main camera. And now we can actually call the methods. Alright, so in this function, we're going to be using a function called screen point to ray. And here is the documentation page. So basically, you pass in a world position. So in this case, it's a vector3 position. And then it returns a ray. So it automatically shoots out a ray from the camera.
Okay, so interesting. I gotta actually. So when I'm looking at this, for my thing, it's not. When I click, I'm sending a ray into that object so that it interacts with it. Okay, so maybe we'll watch the other guy.
clear that for now, and it's not what we're going to be worrying about at the moment. What we care about right now is this ray that we want to create. So I'll write ray equals camera dot, but the details of that ray are that this is a ray from the camera into the mouse's position
Yeah.
towards where the camera is facing. So basically, if our camera is looking, if we check in Unity, at this ball, then if I were to click from this cursor here, it should shoot a ray from the cursor and toward the ball on this 3D axis here. Okay. So let's go ahead and write the rest of this code. We need to check if a ray...
Okay, let me just get the camera kind of set up. I want it to have the camera more like this and scaled in. Well, that really pixelates it. I don't want all this extra space. I just want this. I wonder if I can make the camera not as wide. What if I do this to 500? Okay, actually, I think. Okay. Oh, let's go back to 50. There's no side stuff. It's all widescreen. Okay, that's a lot better. Free aspect. Like that. So main camera. Oh, we want perspective. Oh, there we go. Gotta put further away. Okay, that's cool. Starting to make it look a little bit oh, this was 11. If I go 10. And maybe bring this back a little bit more. Wait, let's just back up. Let's just leave it like that for now. That's good. So now what we need to do is we need to send rays. So do we have this as a separate? Let's do this as a separate thing. Do we want it in the player controller? Object clicker. No, let's do it separate. A new script. So we'll do a new script. Call it. Should we call it object clicker? Should we call it object clicker? Object clicker. And so what he wants to make guess we'll just delete this. Okay, so he has this in the update method. Yeah. So we got raycast hit. What does this do? Structure used to get information back from a raycast. Yeah, let's do that. Raycraft, let's do hit. Right. And then he's got ray. So representation of rays. Then we go ray equals camera.main. So the main camera dot screen point to ray. That's nice having that. Now we want input dot mouse position. So that's what we want for that one. Let's go in a little bit more, see all the code that he's got. Okay, print name hit. Okay, if physics raycast ray out. Oh, it's frick, now I gotta watch this video.
Check if a raycast along that ray is actually going to get us a hit or not. So let's do if physics.raycast along this ray, and we type out hit here, as in we want to send information into a variable without returning it. And so out will store information from this raycast into this raycast hit here. And now we want to type 100 F. And that's just the distance, how far the ray will actually go before it will stop. And 100 should be sufficient for our needs for now. Okay, so now what we want to check is if hit.transform. So we're just checking if it exists with this check. We can also write if hit.transform is not equal to null if we want to make this more clear. And then in here we can just write print name of hit.transform.gameObject. And bear with me, as this is technically a performance hindrance, but it's not a big deal right now, as this is a very simple project. Okay, so now let's go ahead and attach this to our any object actually. And let's see if we can print the name of this ball here, which is called the player. So I'll go ahead and attach this to the main camera for now, as we don't have any empty that we need to worry about. And
Go back. What do you say?
See if we can print the name of print name of hit.transform.gameObject. And bear with me, as this is technically a performance hindrance, but it's not a big deal right now, as this is a very simple project. Okay. So now let's go ahead and attach this to our any object actually, and let's see if we can print the name of this ball here, which is called the player. So I'll go ahead and attach this to the main camera for now, as we don't have any empty that we need to worry about, and I'll hit play. Now what this is doing is constantly checking under the cursor, so it's constantly printing ground. Now, but what if we want to change this to be a click rather than just constantly do this? And to do that, we can just do a simple input check here. So we check if input.getMouseButtonDown. And what that means is that the mouse is clicked once, hence the word down. And so we'll put a 0 in here for left mouse button. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close this off down here. So now every time we click, we'll do all this. So let's go back into Unity, hit play. And my console will clear itself, so I'll click the player here, and it says player. I'll click the ground here, and it says ground. So that's working just fine. But now, what if we want to do something more interesting? Left mouse button. Okay. And I'll
Okay. So we want.
go ahead and close this off down here. So now every time we
Okay, so when you do close it off, it does kind of move up with that. Okay, so let's just do what he said. What he's got. So he's got hit form equals to null. Oops. And then this one will be print name. So we'll just do his for now, so that we know what it is. And then we're going to, so this one closes that one, this one closes that one, this one closes that one, this one closes that one. So we want to go here, and we'll start another one. Private void print name. Print name game object. Go. So if we do what he has, object go, it's going to go print go dot name. Okay, so let's save this. Click object, and then we'll put it onto the main camera. So when we press play, it doesn't say anything. But at least it's not. At least to say it works. How did he have that thing up there?
turning a screen point into a I'll enter this folder and right click again and hit create and then click C# script, and I'll name this our object clicker, and so out will store information from this raycast into this raycast table, and I'll hit play. Now what this is doing is constantly checking.
Okay, so this is what we want to add. We want to add a console or whatever. I don't know where that is. Probably somewhere here. Console. Boom. So the reason why we want this is so that we can double check
under the cursor. So it's constantly printing ground. Now, but what if we want to change this to be
Okay, well, I think we're pretty close.
a click rather than just constantly do this? And to do that, we can
We've got a new one. It's another private void. And we call this one launch into there. Let's call it a bounce. Bounce ball, because it's my project. See if this one works. Rigid body rig. And then we do this. Now we want to do rig dot add force. Add force. Dot transform. Dot. Okay. Position. Okay, let's see what they got here. Forward. Game object. Ooh, let's do game object. Because it already has a bounce on it.
And let me go ahead and create a variable here for our speed. So public float, I'll call this force actually. And I'll start out with something like 5, and we'll see how that works, and then we can edit it in the inspector. So every time we click, we're going to want to add force in up times force. Okay. Now, instead of printing our name here, we need to do something like checking where if we have a rigid body. So if we have, well, if hit.getComponent,
Going a little too quick. Okay, let's just change this one to up. Up for now. Okay, so instead of print name,
that transform.getComponent rigid body. So if we have a rigid body,
get component, and we're going to do rigid body. Oh wait, no, we've got to change this to into if. Let's see what we're getting.
and I'll actually over here store a private, oh not private, sorry, just a rigid body RB. So if RB equals, and what this will do is just assign this as well as perform the check. So
Wait.
RB will equal,
I'm confused. I need to sleep on this. Try to figure this out. I'll get you guys. We'll do it again. Another one. Let's just save. And then save this. Basically, what we need to do for this first lap, to get this lap done, we need to get your player controller to move, get the basic movement of it, and then constrain the movements of the player. And then code cleanup, and that's it. So once we get that done, we can go on to our our quiz. But this one we're going to be learning new stuff simply because we're trying to get the raise and the clicks. Okay. I will see you guys next time, 9 p.m. every day, Pacific Standard Time. What time it is for you, I don't know, but it's 9 o'clock where I am.